Hello and welcome to a very exciting recovery special. Here on their Australian leg of their Reload tour, would you please join me in making a hell of a lot of noise for Metallica?
Cool. What's up?
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which shadows off.
Psych.
People that do Monty Rantros. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which shadows off. I salazar. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah! And the Metallica fans love it! The crowd goes wild. This Metallica extravaganza is being brought to you by Triple J and Recovery. Here now to chat to the band, we have the Triple J metal expert, Mr. Costa Zulio.
Thanks, Dylan. How you going, guys?
We're good.
Welcome
All right, shut up. Shut up!
to... Lars is in charge.
Okay.
How are you, boys, anyway?
Well, good.
Are you well? Welcome to Australia.
Thank you very much.
And just for a start, no, you can't look at them yet. How did Unforgiven 2 come about? Considering it's your latest single out at the moment.
The song or the video?
The song.
Basically, it was just us wanting to try and do something we'd never done, which is continue a story. There was never like the first part of it wasn't complete or anything. It was just the music. When me and James were writing, it kind of reminded us of the first song, and we thought it would be kind of fun to try and just continue the story with the same characters. And that's pretty much what we did.
How annoying was it for when Load came out and the press basically concentrated on the way that you guys looked rather than the sound of the record?
How annoying was it?
Yeah.
Just kind of take it with
Take
a
it,
grain
yeah,
like everything else.
yeah.
It's not really that big
It's,
of a deal. We know what we did. We felt right about it, so that's all that really matters.
Okay.
And you know, every time we put a record out, there's always some issues. And
You're never
just
going to
kinda-
please everybody all the time anyway, so what's the use, you know? I mean, just do what we do.
There's a fair bit of blues on both Load and Reload. What sort of influences came, you know, from a fair way back for that?
It came from different places because everybody's got such a diverse listening now away from each other, you know? And so I guess there was more of a thing that the influences maybe were more blatantly presented, I guess, or something. I could hear a little bit more of it, you know, than just maybe copping riffs from here and there from old metal bands or things like that. Maybe things were coming up from James's Skynyrd listening, or you know, southern
Definitely
flavored
some
kind of
Skynyrd.
things, or my blues influence, you know, Muddy Waters, whatever, those kind of things. Just basic bass groove, and I think same with Lars and some of that older blues stuff
Who would you
too.
have listened to, Lars?
I would say, like Jason's saying, there's some Skynyrd stuff, some ZZ Top. A lot of the old Purple stuff is also really, the Zeppelin and the Purple stuff is really, you know, heavily blues based also, probably more so than the Sabbath of those bands from back then. But you know, some definitely Skynyrd and ZZ Top, heavily.
With Low Man's Lyric, that was the first time you actually had other musicians in the studio. What was that like? And especially with playing, you know, different instruments, hurdy-gurdy and some violin in there.
There's been extra players on Metallica records before, different. Actually, the same guys, for the percussion, those kind of things, and there have been like symphony orchestras and so forth. But the hurdy-gurdy guy, that was something special. One guy that happened to be from San Francisco, and I guess James had the initial idea that to have more of a minstrel jam kind of vibe to it. And it's the only song on Reload that we actually sat all together in a room in a circle like this. With Lars had like a drum set with lots of tambourines and shakers and all kind of different stuff to hit. James had a guitar, like $35 Sears guitar, you know, and I had a cheap bass, and Kirk had some other different kind of instrument to make a very different twangy kind of weirdness to it, you know, and everybody with that vibe sitting in a circle. So that's where that came from, and it's the only one that was presented in that way. You know, it felt real good.
What's the chance you guys experimenting a bit more with different different instruments, say,
Good
in the
chance.
next?
Great chances.
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
Endless.
Absolutely, limitless.
Yeah. You recently played at the Neil Young Bridge School benefit, and that was acoustic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
First
What was
time.
that like?
It was, I think, surprisingly a lot of fun. We kind of agreed to do it without really thinking much about it, and all of a sudden, like a week out, it's like, are we actually really going to sit down and play a bunch of acoustic songs? And then we got the balls up to go through with it, and we sat down the night before at rehearsal, and there was no plan. It was just we sat down and just kind of started jamming. I think the difference between what we do acoustically and a lot of other bands is that they just take their songs and just play them on acoustic instruments. What we try and do is reinvent them a little bit, rearrange them, try and come up with different parts and stuff like that. When you've been playing songs from like Kill 'Em All for 15 years and so on, it's really fun to get a chance to, you know, redo them a little bit. And I think that's mainly what the acoustic thing is for us. It's just revisiting some of that stuff and sort of adding a different twist to it.
It brings a cool freshness to it for us, you know, definitely. And also the way that, I guess we're not really, you know, we only spend a little time on acoustic instruments and a lot of time on electric instruments. So when we play acoustic, it's really got that punk aspect to it still, because we really are not so great on it. So we just kind of, you know, do our thing that we know best on those things and make it sound a little bit, sound like Metallica still, you know?
Yeah, because when you're playing acoustic instruments, it's when it really shows whether you're a good musicians and good bands as well, isn't it?
Well, let's put it this way. We make up for it in lack of ability with enthusiasm.
That's right. That's where it's at. I mean, that's where it's at, really, you know, because that's the beauty of it, right, is that aspect that it's not perfect, and that's, I mean...
You know what? It's a lot of fun, and we've been actually starting on this Australian tour, incorporating a couple of songs like that into the main 2.5-hour set, and it's kind of fun.
It's been
And
accepted. I couldn't believe it. Really.
I think the kids can, even if they can't necessarily relate to the concept of it, they can relate to the fact that we really get off on it. And the fact that we get off on it makes them get off on it, hopefully.
Well, a couple of years down the track now from Load, and you're saying that you're saying that the fans are being more accepting. Do you think that's because you've brought a record out like Load and Reload? That they are now more accepting of what you're doing?
Saying that we helped open them up a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think what happens is that anytime a band like us shake the foundations up a little bit, there's always a lot of people who are initially kind of unsure about what that really means in the long run. And I think what happened when Load came out, there were some people that seriously thought that we'd lost our minds. And then when we came and toured all over the place for a year and a half, and they could see that once we got up and played in front of them, that real strength of what Metallica always had been was still there, just updated or, you know, just going through another metamorphosis, but still was really there at heart. I think a lot of people really, found new respect for it, and I think that's continuously happening as we go and play.
A while. That's the thing. It might have taken them a while for it to set in, but I think the respect is still there because of our taking chances, and people look to Metallica to do that kind of thing and always be breaking down, you know, new barriers and that kind of stuff. And that's, I mean, we look to us more than anybody else to do that same thing. So.
Okay. One last question, Jason. You're the only one that's not married now. So do you get all the girls?
The ring?
No, it's okay. Pardon?
Do you get all the girls?
Do I get all of them?
Anybody? Jason's looking for a date.
Yeah, the Lars. Yeah, I just kind of get all. Yeah, I get all the girls. Yeah, you bet.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Go.
All right.
We're going to throw open some questions into the crowd now to speak directly to the band. I'm looking for Brian. Oh, Brian. Brian is our competition winner. He's been following Metallica around everywhere, a little bit obsessive, perhaps.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Have you got a question for Metallica?
Yeah, I was just wondering, you haven't played Unforgiven 2 yet on the tour. I was just wondering why you haven't, seeing especially when it's the current, well, it was the first single released over here. And when should we be expecting to hear it?
Yeah, Lars. How come we're not playing that?
You
Haven't
know,
figured out how to sing it yet.
We haven't really
live.
figured it out yet, to be honest. One of the only songs we've ever tackled live was on the Black Album tour that we weren't that comfortable playing, was the first Unforgiven, and it never really settled in properly. We tried playing Unforgiven 2 at a TV show in Las Vegas in December, and that wasn't our strongest moment. And
Good way to put it.
so we might bring it out for the summer in America. At the same time, as you know, since you've seen us a bunch, is that we don't like to go out. Now we're touring Reload. We don't go out and play, 90% of Reload. I really like to balance it with all the albums. So we're playing 3 or 4 songs from the new album, and maybe we'll play Unforgiven 2 next time we come down.
Thank you.
Go, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
All right.
Hi. You got any questions? This is Bianca. Bianca has some more questions for you, brethren.
Yeah. Like, how many more years can we expect Metallica to rock on?
Forever and ever.
You can pursue that if you
No,
want.
I'd like to think that there would never have to be like a headline saying that Metallica split up or Metallica broke up or anything. You should never have to read that. I would like it to be that Metallica can just be. If we don't maybe record for some years or we don't play live for, it still can just be Metallica. It'll always live in that way, but we don't ever have to really split.
Robert M. Burry. Ah, it's working. They must have placed you or something. That's great. Robert, questions for Metallica?
Okay, I was just wanting to know who designed the Metallica symbol, that one in the middle, and how did it come about?
This one?
Yeah.
James drew it on a notebook, I think his lyric notebook, when we were putting together all those songs for Load, right? It was kind of like scribbled on a notebook. Like a lot of the stuff, like the Scary Guy and the first logo and probably everything. He just always comes up with that stuff.
And
It's supposed to represent the 4 of us.
4 M's, 4 dudes, Metallica forever. Get it?
Yep.
Cool.
And where do you see the future of the metal heavy rock genre at the moment?
Jason's gonna answer that. That's not my field.
I think that there's a lot of, with electronic music coming on and a lot of the fast beats and that, a lot of people have been drawn to that because of its energy and aggression and that kind of thing. But nothing will ever replace the 4 or 5 guys playing guitars really loud and that kind of stuff. So it's always going to be, no matter how far it goes underground before it rears its head again, whatever, it's always going to be there underlying. Like, look at all these people here that are still way into that kind of music. It may not be the popular music that's being played on the radio or on the video or whatever, but it still lives, in us and a lot of people, so it's always there.
Will you be really old guys rocking one
We
day?
already are old guys.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, I'm younger than
I've
you.
got to get another question here. I've got a quick one.
I'm old.
Has metal affected your hearing?
I'm older. What are we doing?
Has metal affected your hearing?
What?
Stephen Norris. Yes. Ha! The Vic Comp runner-up. This is Stephen Norris. Well done, Stephen. Have you got a question?
Yes, I was just wondering, what is your favourite riff?
Of Metallica or otherwise?
Yes, Metallica or whatever.
Metallica or whatever. Which one?
Metallica.
You first.
Riff?
Riff, man. One riff, you know, that just riff. That just each time you just go, fuck. Just want to blow up. There's so many.
Probably the first one in No Remorse. Go and sing it.
That's a good
That one, yeah.
That one's cool. That one rocks. I like, I think the middle of Master of Puppets when it goes dun 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 dun.
The face. You're in the face. I like the face.
Catch.
We're looking for Jason Allen here.
Pretty good, man.
Hi, Jason Allen. What's your question for Metallica?
I've heard it's your last tour. Is this true?
Where do you hear? Where does this stuff come from?
No.
Huh?
The answer is no.
No. Beautiful.
Oh, phew. Lucky we cleared that
Well,
up.
that kind of attitude, we might not come back.
Yeah,
but
man.
apart from that,
He's not with us. He's not with us.
he's the guy to beat up.
David Hall. Thanks, mate. Great. David Hall.
After Justice for All, you seem to take a new direction in your style of music, slightly more rock orientated. How did this come about, and do you think your status as Metallica would be different now if you did change?
Well, obviously working with a producer named Bob Rock. You know, his name wasn't Bob Heavy Metal. So that's obviously what had to happen. I mean, there's definitely a, you know, when we started working with Bob, he opened up our eyes and ears to a lot of different things. I think the biggest misconception from most of the people that don't quite either agree with it or understand what happened is that it was not something we were forced into. And, you know, Bob saw some things in us that were brewing that he sort of helped us realize, and in terms of just being more emotional and trying to get more things from within out in our music and in James's singing and so on, and trying to make records that were more human and just had more elements of emotions and stuff in them, and that's something that I'm really proud of that happened. And but clearly, obviously, there is some kind of division there, and I just feel that looking back on it, we had probably taken that side of us as far as we could, and felt that if we were going to continue in that direction, it would get really stale and get really,
perhaps.
and just get really, we would just get stuck in a kind of a thing that I think a lot of the other metal bands end up in, where they just get stuck on one track and then just keep doing that, and we just wanted to keep going on.
That's true. Think about, you know, look around the bands that were big or whatever at the time. They all kind of backed themselves into a corner by playing the same music or the same album with a different album cover type of thing. And that's, you know, where are they now? And Metallica has continued to do what we want to do, kind of according to what's coming out then. Like you know, like he was talking about Fight Fire and the things, the really blasting songs. That was, for that time, was great, and that's what we were approaching. And now you know, that's what's coming out of us, so that's what's on tape. It doesn't mean that there can't be more Fight Fires in the future. Doesn't mean there's going to be less Nothing Else Matters in the future. It doesn't matter. Whatever comes out of us, that's what we'll put on the tape. It's not like we're out to try to just get these people that like the heavy music from Metallica, or these people just like the light music from Metallica. We want to play our music to share with as many people as we possibly can that will listen to it, you know, however they can, the radio or whatever, through their own means.
And do you think everything's been done to date? Like maybe in your earlier days, there was a lot more styles undiscovered, but now going into the new millennium, they've sort of been done, you know?
There's so many things that mix and match now, and crossbreeds and hybrids of all different kinds of electronic with turntable guys and metal guys and whatever. Yeah, that's very true. So it's hard to be, I mean, it's better to kind of stand your ground and do what you do best rather than trying to, you know, mix it all up and try to get with the times or whatever happens to be popular then, you know, more just stick to our guns and do what we do, and usually people like it.
So you just be yourselves.
That's right. It's the best thing to do for anybody, man, no matter what gig you got.
Fine advice. Thanks, bro. Yeah. maybe one more, maybe. Mark and Cheryl Gale. Ah, over here. Be a bit enthusiastic now.
Do you still hang out and party together?
Lars, do we?
Which, hang out and party or hang out?
Both.
Well, yeah. You know, there's one or two people in the band that don't drink anymore. But we still socialize as much as we can. I mean, at home in San Francisco, everybody's kind of got their own little world. And I think that it's really healthy because when you are 22 years old and everything is sort of gang-oriented, things have a tendency to be a bit one-track minded. So when everybody's kind of off doing their own things, when they come back to the party, they all bring something different, which is really cool. But when we travel, we still enjoy each other's company. And we don't quite party like we used to, but we give it our best shot for being in our mid-30s, believe me. I saw the sunrise the other day, so I was proud of that.
The coolest thing is that, like Lars is talking about, as we get older, we find more diverse things for ourselves. We all become more individuals, you know, each guy, and then when it comes back in to be the team again, because of our strengths outside of the band, we're stronger as a band because everybody's able to understand each other, give each other a little more space, a little more time, a little more consideration, that kind of thing. This time on tour right now, I mean, we're getting along better than I can remember us getting along ever. Like, everybody just being cool to each other and that kind of thing. So when we do hang out, it's working still.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I think that's all about all we've got time for. We must say a very big thank you to the boys of Metallica for coming in today, and to Costa Zulia. Let's make a lot of noise right now. You have been watching Metallica.